Hello. Um, Let us introduce ourselves. We are the Undersecretary Generals of Historical Crisis. My name is Tasha Januszewicz.
My name is Mags Glass.
And we're going to tell you a little bit about directives today.
So directives are very similar to in non-crisis committees where students are typically writing resolutions, but here in crisis, it is the process of creating shorter documents to institute actionable items into the greater world or whatever universe the committee is occurring in. They are typically shorter than resolutions, and they're more concerned with these immediate actions on part of the countries or delegates involved to solve an immediate conflict or crisis. In a session, as long as the directives pass by a simple majority, there can be multiple directives passed during a committee.
So in crisis committees, the reason why we write directives is to address whatever is the current crisis that's going on in your committee. So really, as the crisis committee is kind of happening and as the speed is picking up, you want to be as quick and as concise as possible when you're addressing whatever is going on. So kind of the key points when writing directives is that it's going to be short. It's going to be usually a page, 2 pages long. You're definitely going to handwrite it. There's kind of no time for typing. And so it's going to come together really fast. But when you're writing, think about what's necessary right then and there. Think about who you're writing to, who you're writing for, and who you are. So because there's going to be multiple directives and passed during the committee, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, things are going to happen as a result of this directive that you're going to see and you're going to experience during the committee. So think about that. Think about what can I do realistically, and how will that affect the future if this goes through and if this passes? So when you're writing directives, you have to kind of be aware of kind of the general mood and tone of the committee, and also thinking about the future, so looking ahead.
So when it comes to supporting and voting on directives, there could be multiple directives on the floor at once. And it is very likely that the chair will ask to collect all the directives that are being worked on before moving into voting procedure. And something important to note is that signatories can support multiple directives as well. So make sure that you're also supporting several directives and forming solid alliances in committee, as that's a very good way to do so. Signatories are also just ways to show that you want to see a directive on the go to voting. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are fully supporting it just yet. It just means that you would like to see more debate on this specific directive, and that you would like to hear more about what exactly it would do if it were to pass. Something important to remember is that you need to make sure to think about the effects your directive may have. Remember, the pace of crisis committees is very fast, and there will be an immediate result to your directive, whether that be later in the committee or that have an impact on the specific roles or the specific actions other delegates can take. So make sure not just to think about the immediate, but also the long-term consequences a directive can have in a committee.
So kind of the long and short of it all is, when you're writing a directive, keep it short and keep it to the point. You're not going to have a lot of time, and the chair is not going to have a lot of time to explain everything that you're talking about. You're going to likely have 1 to 2 minutes to discuss and share your ideas once it reaches the floor. So it has to be both short and super easy to understand, so that anyone who is not familiar with your directive can immediately catch on to exactly what's happening, what's going on, what's the point of your idea, and whether or not they want to support it. And kind of the last point is, remember, people are going to vote on this, so make it supportable. Make sure that you collect enough alliances. Make sure you make your ideas popular enough and suitable enough that people are actually going to want to have your directive go through.